It's really weird thinking about who I was 10 years ago. Thinking back a year, 2 years, that kind of thing, it's not too bad. You have a pretty clear picture still of who you were, what you were up to, what your ambitions were, what your day-to-day life was like, etc. But when you start to think back further than that, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, things become really hazy, or at least they do for me, and I wonder, what was I thinking on a daily basis 10 years ago? What was occupying my thoughts when I wasn't doing anything, when I was in the shower or I was walking down the street? What was I daydreaming about? It's just a weird feeling thinking back that far in your life. But there are certain things that you'll always be able to look at, whether it's a family photos album, maybe it's a medal you got at sports day, maybe it's your yearbook, maybe it's a present from a friend that you got for a birthday when you were small. There are all sorts of things, right, that just pull you back in time. So, today, I did some time traveling. I went all the way back to the 19th of March, 2019, when the first map pack for Call of Duty World at War released on Xbox Live. I unfortunately don't have a 360 right now in the flat that I currently live in that I could play on, so I've recorded some gameplay on PC to accompany this video, and also hopefully help put you back in the headspace of 2009. What it was like to wake up, go to school, come home, and jump onto World at War, and play Verrückt for the first time. There's just something about that is ingrained in my memory and will never leave. It just won't. I mean, I guess it's because I heard it so many times when I was younger, but there's just something about it that is absolutely iconic to me. And then you jump into the game and you load up the map and you spawn in, and for the first time you're split up. That was new. And there are perks. Those were new. And there's stuff all over the walls, and there's this crazy atmosphere, and it just took me right the way back, man.
There's gotta be a power switch around here somewhere.
These were the days when I would most often actually go to a friend's house to play the game. I would head over to my mate Raf's house, and we had already played a load of Nacht over and over again. We were obsessed with the damn thing, and we would jump onto Verrückt, and we would do the same thing basically in every single game. And we would always die at the same sort of point every single game as well. It wouldn't really matter if you got yourself an MG42 or if your box luck was terrible, because obviously there was no pack-a-punch back then. People weren't hoarding back then. You would just find a corner to sit in, and you'd sit there until you died. And then the game would spawn you right back in where you just were, and you would try again. We would play split screen. We would play all of it split screen back then, because I would just be at his house with him playing on the same monitor. And I remember that era so clearly in terms of the stuff I was playing, because I'd go over to his house as well and play Halo 3, for example. That was a game that I didn't actually own a copy of until much later, when I bought an Xbox from a friend for like £5 or something ridiculous. Like, it was crazy how cheap I got that Xbox. Thank you, Gabriel. And so thinking about all those things back in the day when times were so much more simple, both outside the game and inside it, it's so weird when you then think about the contrast to now, to 2019, to where the world is at, where my life is at, where the game is at, where the community is at. Things have changed a lot, man. And some of those changes have been fantastic. I mean, in my life, I am no longer just going to school every day and then coming home and playing an hour of Call of Duty World at War and then going and doing whatever else I was doing. I've got a degree now. I'm done. I'm out. I'm free. Kind of, except you're never free, really, right? And I miss school in a weird way. There's something about that I think a lot of you who are still in school might not really understand. You might think, nah, there's no chance. There's no way that I'm going to miss school when I'm out. But thinking back to when I was like 12, 13, 14, I have some hilarious memories of those years of my life. Like, I was reminiscing with some friends the other day that were over here and just talking about the stuff we used to get up to. And you could get away with so much, which now, age 22, you could never do. Like, just stupid things that you would do to annoy your teachers, or to mess around with your mates, or whatever it might be. It was a fun time, man. And honestly, as much as I absolutely appreciate that I'm very lucky to have the job that I do have, working to make entertainment content for you guys, I do miss the days a little bit of none of what I was doing in the game mattering ever. Like, I don't play games for fun really anymore. I mean, I do, but it's a different kind of fun, because the business part of my brain is always thinking, you need to maximize whatever you're doing in order for you to be able to buy your groceries and stuff like that, right? Like, there's always a part of me that is linking it to my day-to-day job, because it's all I think about when I'm at work. And if I'm playing games, I'm at work all of a sudden, right? And I just miss the days of none of it mattering. And putting the game down eventually after whatever it was, the first kind of 6 months of the COD, it would always be alive, and then it would kind of start to die off. And then that hype train starting for the next one, and being super excited. Like, the Modern Warfare 2 trailers for that game, oh my goodness me. They were so insanely hype. And I posted a load of videos for Modern Warfare 2, and I covered a load of the trailers, and I started making trailer breakdowns, which at the time was not really even that much of a thing in the COD community, but I started breaking them down and trying to explain what I was seeing. I didn't know what I was talking about, but that's what I tried to do. And I still have a huge amount of respect for those maps that came out in 2009 and the work that the team put in, people like Jesse Snyder, actually forming the kernel that would blossom into zombies as a mode and would last to this day. It was insane. I mean, who knew that that little sort of side project, that weekend project, that the studio didn't even want to happen, would transform into a tentpole mode of the game. It's nuts. And it's just a nice throwback. It's nice to sort of sit and get a little bit of distance from all the craziness of 2019 and just remember some of those good times. Because they were good times. They were really good. And I miss them a little bit.